Um, Again, something we spoke about recently, which I enjoyed. So I'd love for you to expand on it in terms of your views about brain drain, and more specifically, brain drain from Africa, obviously, but more specifically on people that leave Africa, that go to Europe. You see, yes, to and America or wherever they go, but then they speak about Africa, and speak about changing Africa, but they're not even here.
Yeah.
First question, what do you say about those people, and do they have an equal voice versus people that are here in Africa doing things? I don't know if it's a fair question, but
I'll try to answer it, but it's a hard question. Interestingly enough, today I was having a conversation with one of my direct managers, because I happen to have two. So she was saying that it's worth questioning whether the greatest impact I can make is by being physically on the continent versus being at a decision-making headquarter in New York of the UN. And she was kind of posing that to me based on my idea of, I want to come back home eventually and kind of work on the ground. And she was like, you need to deliberately, beyond emotional attachment to home, think about, does a different geography in terms of the power that's available to you there, assuming you're occupying like a senior seat in that organization, can you change the continent more by being there than being here? Which, I mean, is a grapple that I, to be honest, are constantly grappling with. But when you, for example, hear certain thought leaders who aren't here say something, there is also the danger of, I think, theoretically being able to say the right things, but a detachment from the emotional toil of living in a place and grappling with its problems on the ground, which sometimes I think is incredibly useful, versus maybe sitting in an aircon office in New York and solving problems in wherever on the continent. So I think I struggle with the idea that it's one or the other. I think there's room for both
and I was about to
at
say
this
that,
point.
I think as people, it's politics as well. We like to make things very binary, it's either this or that, I think, to your point, maybe that's why you also grapple with it, is they both play a role. Yeah. And it's not to say the one is more important than the other. I think if you're in New York, in the air-conditioned office, looking over the Empire State, well, do what you can do, because you are closer to the people in power as well. But also, if you're on the ground, I guess you would get your hands dirty. It's more about being strategic and operational as well. Everyone has a role to play. So I also grapple with that, okay. No, fair enough. I can dig it.